Hey, good morning, my XRP army, my tribe, everybody out there in YouTube land. Hope you're doing really well today. Want to talk a little bit more about the Bank of Japan and the death spiral it has initiated. How has it initiated this death spiral? Well, for 30 years, it had pretty much 0% interest on their money, on borrowing. And that led to a whole lot of clever people from around the world going to Japan, getting loans and investing it into other money-bearing things, such as U.S. savings bonds. You borrow at 0, you get a bond for 2.5%. At the end of that bond, you give the money back to the Bank of Japan, and you keep your 2.5% or whatever it was. May have made more if you're playing in stock markets and things. But this has gone on for what, 3 decades, 30 years, more, something like that, called a carry trade. Recently, the Bank of Japan raised rates a little bit, not a lot, right? A little bit. And this sent shock waves through the world's economies because all of these people from all over the world that had gone there and purchased or obtained loans at 0% interest and then used that money to buy assets such as U.S. savings bonds or other savings bonds, whatever bond it was. You have to put it someplace where you believe the government's actually going to give you the money back, right? If you go to a country that has a history of defaulting, you may not want to do that, even though the rates may have been higher. But they could have taken a chance on it and gotten 12%, whatever. Years ago, I actually was driving through Kyiv in Ukraine and saw billboards advertising over 20% interest on savings account at banks to attract money into the banks. So you could just simply take your money and put it in a savings account there. There may have been limitations on foreign money, this, that, there. I don't know. But those kinds of things. And you give it back at the end, and you pocket the money. Well, what has happened with the raising of the rates in Japan, these loans that were, these carry trades that were lucrative are no longer lucrative. And people tend to take these bonds and then go use them as collateral on something else. Put that in the asset column and use it to borrow on something else. And this causes, you're setting up dominoes is what you're doing when you do this. And the Bank of Japan just knocked over the first domino by raising the interest rates, because this causes people to have financial shocks that they're not capable of absorbing. And so they have to sell a healthy asset to cover that loss on that side. And that causes a cascading effect around the entire world. So it's starting to have an effect. The first domino has fallen. It has hit the second domino, and the second domino is going to go down and hit the third and the fourth and the fifth, and so on down the line. And it's going to cause a huge shock through the world's financial systems. Does the Bank of Japan have the ability to collapse the entire world's economic system? I don't know. But it is that precarious. There is talk, people that understand these things and live in that world believe that the U.S. will go to the rescue of the Bank of Japan if it comes to that. And I believe that's quite possible. Why? Because of that domino effect. If the Bank of Japan isn't offering 0% interest rates, people aren't buying the U.S. debt at 2.5%, 3%, whatever those rates are. And the U.S. debt then becomes, our ability to borrow becomes less, diminished. And they have to raise rates. And that makes our interest payments higher. Do you get why I call this a death spiral? Is it getting a little clearer? Do your own research. I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing I say is financial advice. I give life advice, and my life advice to you is this: stop being a slave to the money system and make the money system your slave. Learn how it works, educate yourself, and then use it to your own advantage. Make your money go out and gather more money unto itself. This is really important in life. Really important. And don't just get an education yourself. Educate others around you. My wife has just, it amazes me how she is out investigating me, I guess you would say. She come to me and asked me a question. Like, oh my gosh, wow, let me look into it. Because she's really doing a great job of educating herself. And she's young enough that she can make a huge difference in her life by making these changes now and watching it multiply over the years. And that's the key to it. Hey, XRP, $100,000 today, please. I say that for a lot of reasons. I want that to happen. Is it going to happen? No. Speaking of XRP, what's realistic for this year? $5? I think that's very realistic. A lot of people say a lot higher. We're running out of this year. We got, what, 3 weeks left? 3.5 weeks? Come on, XRP, get on the job. These people are talking $100, $1,000. Some people are saying 4 figures, 3 zeros. 3 figures is 999 in my brain when I hear it. It could also be 100, 100, but I'm looking for 999. A lot of hopium. An awful lot of deadlines for higher prices have come and gone with no higher prices. Date setters usually are proven wrong. I hope that it explodes, but most likely it will be an implementation that will cause it to go up, and that may be slow. When the Bank of International Settlements says, hey, XRP is a good thing, we're going to start using it, then it would skyrocket. It would rocket overnight. But it's going to take larger and larger banks implementing these new tokens and believing in the blockchain and tokenization of everything. And you listen, more and more of them are talking about that. More and more large banks. People like Flint, who, isn't his name? The Chase guy. If I catch you trading Bitcoin, I'm going to fire you on the spot. Now he's got the largest Bitcoin ETF in the world. And you listen to him, he said right on stage, you know what? You need to be able to change. That's key. Being able to change. Being able to adapt to the environment around you. The environment is going towards cryptocurrency. It is. For good reasons and bad reasons. Bad reasons are control. And that's really what it's about in the end. It's about control. Controlling you and what you do with your finances. And what you think. And what you say. And what you do. And if you do the wrong things, they'll be able to reel you in. You think that's not happening? Look at China and their social credit scoring system. It's interesting. It's an interesting read. It's kind of scary, but it's an interesting read. Educate yourselves. These things are important. And just because these things are coming and they are mark of the beast-ish, doesn't mean they aren't going to come. There's going to come a time when you're going to have to take a stand and say no more. But trying to refuse to participate in it, you're just going to get run over. I have my own threshold where I will say no more. But I also understand that there's an opportunity between those two times. And I need to take advantage of that opportunity. Because you can make great wealth in this. There is going to be financial calamity around the world. There is. There simply is. I can't tell you the trigger point nor the date. But I can tell you that history says it's coming. And nothing's going to stop it. No one has a solution. They have a few band-aids on a hemorrhaging, deep, fatal wound. But it's only a band-aid. Tokenizing the U.S. debt is only going to kick the can down the road a little further. We are reducing the amount of time it takes to add trillions of dollars. The last one was 83. And it's going to be under 70 soon. And then it'll be 60. And then it'll be 50. And pretty soon it'll be 2 weeks. And then it'll be a week. Think about that. Protect yourselves. God bless you all. Take care, and I'm out.